All right, people, you ready to go? Let's go. Here we go, people. Let's get ready to go. How we doing, people? Oh my goodness. Let's get going, shall we? Sweet. I think we're good to go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to another stream. Oh, let me turn this down just a bit. How we doing, people? How we doing? So I realized, yeah, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Are we good? Looks like we're not too glitchy. Let me see. Let me double back the feed. Look, is the volume too loud? Looks like we're not too glitchy. All right. Volume's good. All right, people. How we doing? Okay. I realized that we have not. I had a couple thoughts. On what I wanted to do. We've talked about the NFL. We've given our NFL thoughts. We've given our NFL predictions. We've gone over schedule release reaction to all 32 NFL teams. We've done schedule predictions for all 32 NFL teams. We had kind of like a series of, okay, we're going to go through all 32 teams, and we've been posting them out. And so I thought, you know what, let's do this, because now that we are getting into crunch time and the NFL season is literally right around the corner, and everybody's giving their predictions, everybody's giving their reactions, everybody's thinking that, you know, Carson Beck and Haynes King was, you know, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in the Hall of Fame game. I thought what we'd do was, let me come on here a little bit. Let's go over every single prediction. We're not going to, believe me, nobody wants to sit here. We're not going to watch the videos. We're not going to watch all the videos, but look at what I got queued up here. No, not this. Let me move that out of the way. Hold on. Let me stretch this out this way. How does, hey, that looks good. That looks so good. That fit perfectly. It was perfect. Down to the last minute detail. But what I thought we would do in this stream is go over some of these games, give my thoughts and reactions. Like, yeah, I had the Bengals winning 10 games, 11 games. And we'll go through, we'll look at them, and then we'll go, once all of them are done, I'll be like, and drum roll please, this is who I have winning the division. Well, boom. And then, to nobody's surprise, be like, yeah, the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win the division. There is going to be some pretty, what's the term I'm looking? Zero low ball knowledge, low IQ takes in this stream, because I like, yeah, I'm gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna say what everybody else is saying on, yeah, I think the Bills can win 14 games. Yeah, I think the Chiefs can bounce back. Like, there will be a lot of talking points that I have of, hey, this probably isn't the first time you've heard this. And there might be some takes where I look at a team and go way off script and give them high praise. Like right now, and I don't find it, what's the word? What's that stupid word? Not convincing, but not ironic. I don't find it strange. I don't find it ironic. I don't find it convincing. I don't find it. What's the word? The point I'm trying to make, it's like the Saints, for example. Everybody's talking about the Saints and how the Saints are going to potentially win the division. Ironic, maybe that's the word. Right, I don't find it ironic that the Saints won a couple games to end their regular season, and then all of a sudden now everybody's on the Saints hype train, and it's like, okay, you're not on the Bucks hype train because of how, like, it's rolling over. So I might talk about that. Also, guys, look at this freaking dude. Look at this freaking tan line, bruh. Look at this garbage here. We ain't got too much sun, bruh. Look at that freaking. My arm is burnt to a crisp. All right. Anyways. So that's why my face is super red. My arms are super red. But I'm glad you guys are here. Let's get into the stream. If you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Whether you're watching now or later, it's all the same to me. So let's get into it. I also, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know, hey, for the NFC North, I'm actually going to roll with, this team. For the AFC South, I'm actually going to roll with this team. Because I'm not going to get ahead of myself and be like, oh, I have the most unique takes. No, I don't have the most unique takes. I have, like, if we look around sports media, I probably have a lot of takes like everybody else when it comes to some of these teams. And so, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, I had the Bengals hovering around 500 for the majority of the season, because we know if Joe Burrow's out with an injury, the Bengals stink bad. So I have them hovering around 500. They could lose early in the season because we have seen this in the past. I'm saying this Madrid to Washington stretch right here, these 3 primetime games. I know they're not all on primetime, but they're special. Because, look, like, will them against the Dolphins be on TV? Yes, every single game's on TV. But there's a difference between, NBC wants to acquire the rights for the Steelers game, so we're going to have this one. Oh, this, like, what's going to be shown more, like, out of these stretch of games? This one. This 425. You know what this one's going to be? This one's going to be, bam, smack in the middle right there on the CBS for that slot during the middle of the day. and versus other games like the Saints where it's like, it's gonna happen. You can watch it on NFL Plus later. But I think these 3 games right here starts a push to, are the Bengals going to make the playoffs or not? Because you look at the remainder of their games: Saints, Browns, Panthers, Colts, Browns. These are winnable games. And like, let's say, yeah, they're sitting here, all right, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 4-5. Wait, what? One. Why am I 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 4-4. They're sitting at 4-4 after their trip to Madrid. Um, People probably already writing them off or whatever, and then it's like, hey, here we go. You gotta stack some wins here, and get to the postseason. Because I think if they make 10 wins, they will most likely be the 7th seed. If they stay healthy, they'll most likely make the postseason. I don't think these are blasphemous takes. I think, yeah, it's legit. Now, where they go from there once the postseason comes, dude, if they catch the short end of the stick and they have to go be the 7th seed and play the 2 seed, 2 seed Bills, 2 seed Chiefs, 2 seed Broncos. Oh boy, that's a tough. That's a tough. That's a tough spot. Now, where I could see, 2 seed, 7 seed, it don't matter. Watch the Bills. Watch for that wild card weekend matchup. If the Buccaneers, no, not the Buccaneers, the Bengals. If the Bengals can sneak that 7th seed, and the Bills have to host them, because we've seen it before in the past. What was it? 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago now, where they played in the wild card and the Bengals whooped them. That would throw everything out, records and where everybody's putting their money, and all this. Put your money where your mouth is, and fantasies, drafts, and all this and that. The Bengals are not a team you're going to want to play in the postseason. So there's one hot take where it's like, yeesh, that aged like milk. But I mean, the last 2 times that the Bengals have been in the postseason healthy, they played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. One was a victory and one was a loss. So that's who I have. So how many wins do I have total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 wins. 10-7 seems very safe. If I give them more than 11 wins, I just feel like it's too much of a stretch. There's too much riding on this team. There's too much of, because I'm not the first one to say this, but there are some things that have been popping up with a lot of people have been throwing the term injury prone around, and they're starting to talk about how Joe Burrow's injury prone, and it's like, dang, that's tough. That's some tough stuff, because I never looked at it that way, but that people think he's injury prone. Then I don't think he's injury prone, but like, I definitely think of he got injured his rookie season. He got injured last season, and then he got injured in 2023. Yeah, 2023. And so, of that, he's only had like two good seasons without injury. And what were those seasons? The years they went to the AFC Championship. So, all right, moving on to the Ravens. Yeah, this was the one that went, yes, this way, back and forth, not this way. So I was looking at it and I was like, damn, look at that. But I was riding high, super, super duper high on the Ravens last year. And I think I had them starting like 8-0. Big mistake. Big mistake. I tried to make it abundantly clear that, like, no team in the NFL, I don't think any team in the NFL with where we are parity-wise in the league, unless it's like sure domination, like seeing teams like the Rams, Broncos, Eagles, Chiefs, no team starting 6-0, 5-0, 6-0. There's no way. I think gone are the days of like just with parity and where the league is right now, even the Seahawks, even the freaking Seahawks, no. Like, I could see, um, okay, maybe the Chiefs start out 4-0 because, like, doesn't Mahomes have a record or something where, like, he hasn't lost in September? Something like that. Or if he has, he's lost once. Something along those lines. Um, I don't think we're going to be going into the middle of October and, oh my gosh, look at this. There's a team that's 7-0, 8-0. No, I don't think that's happening. Could we see around week 7, week 8, middle of October, could we see a team that is 6-1 or 5-2? Yes. But to chop it up and be like, yeah, the Chargers are going to be undefeated at 6-0. The Seahawks are going to be a 6-1. You're going to have your South team like the Buccaneers or the Falcons. They're going to be sitting at 7-0. No, I think there's too much parity in the league, and like there are games because coming from the point of view of a Packers fan, mind you, hey, we should be beating the hell out of the Browns, and then how the hell did we lose that game? Like teams will drop games. Now, I will say this as well, with teams going undefeated, if there is like how the hell is this team sitting at 7-2? It's going to be a team that nobody's talking about. Not the Saints, because everybody's talking about the Saints, but it's going to be a team like the Baltimore Ravens, the Indianapolis Colts, the Raiders, who else? The Lions. It's going to be a team where nobody talks about them, but it's like, whoa, what the hell? Like kind of like we're in a bizarre, because coming into last year, you can't convince me people were riding high on Seattle, because people started riding high on Seattle right after, I want to say, around, because Seattle lost some games early in the season and then they started to pick it up. But if I were to compare, let's pull up their schedule from last season. And again, this is my own opinion. Hey, would you believe if there was, a little scuffle in the... No, I'm teasing. Where is my... let's go NFL. We can also go over some Hall of Fame stuff. We can look at the Hall of Fame because there's some Hall of Fame inductions today. Standings, team, let's go to Seattle. I don't think people started talking about Seattle until those division games against the Niners and the Rams. That's my own personal opinion. Let's go double check one more time in the 2025 season. Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's pull it up here. All right. How we looking? Let me look. Pull up. Are we looking good? How about this one? There we go. That looks a little bit better. My posters fell off the wall, so don't look at them too much. All right, here we go. Because to start out, they lost. Then they lost to Tampa. And then when you look at these 3 wins, nobody was given a care because, wow, you beat the Saints and you beat the Cardinals. What were the Saints' final record by the end of the season? Same with the Cardinals. All right. Was it around? Because there was a game here where the Falcons, because around this time, everybody was talking till about November. Yeah, about November. You know who the hot team was in November and everybody's golden goose? The Buccaneers. Everybody was talking about the Buccaneers. Everybody was also talking about the Chiefs because the Chiefs were sitting at 500 and everybody was going, oh my gosh, what is going on with the Chiefs? Blah, blah, blah. And what Seattle managed to do, I'm not saying people overlook this Jacksonville game. The other thing, too, is people were talking about Jacksonville as well because they beat the Chiefs on that Monday Night Football game. But what was grabbing more headlines during the regular season was the Eagles and the dysfunction of their own team. So the Eagles, the Broncos, the Rams, the Chiefs. I think the Bills struggling at one point too, because the Bills are always a topic of conversation. But what the Seahawks had managed to do was get to 7-2 without being talked about. That's at least from my low ball IQ perception of the season, because I don't think we started to talk about. Now this game was this the game? This was the game where they wore the ugly ass. Yep, I don't like these uniforms. I really don't. Now they're better than their yellows, but they're not going to be better than their throwback whites. Um, Nobody really talked about this game because, oh, well, you go look at that stat right there. Darnold, 29 for 44 for 4 interceptions. The Rams hold on to a 19-21 win with Stafford's 2 touchdowns. Okay, so they're not being talked about yet. And then they dropped to 7-3. At the time, let's look at the Rams record. What did the Rams improve to at that point? 8-2. The Rams improved to 8-2, and we kind of knew, okay, the Rams are the real deal. But then the Rams went on a little bit of a run, and then they lost to the Falcons because everybody was convinced right after they lost to the Falcons, Stafford's not going to win the MVP, blah, blah, blah. And then I believe around the same time, we're halfway through November, people are more focused on Stranger Things and it's sucking. No. What else? The Bills, because the Bills had again, in that era of, okay, the Bucks are the team. Like, there is the Bucks versus Bills game. There is the Bills versus Eagles game where that Eagles defense just bullied the hell out of Josh Allen. And I think it was a really low scoring game. I don't remember. But, like, the Eagles then were in topics of conversation, too, because, like, I think they dropped under 500 because they lost to the Broncos. But then they got back up to 500. But then when right around this Atlanta game, because by this time, too, Indianapolis had been injury prone. I think Jones was already done for the season by this point. But them beating the Falcons after the Falcons beat the Rams, them beating the injured Colts, them beating Los Angeles, and then beating San Fran at the end of the season. They managed to get all the way to 10-3, 11-3 before anybody started to talk about them. Because at this point, too, this is also when the Patriots and the Broncos were like a lock for the 1 seed and the 2 seed. And then also like the 49ers were up in conversation too. Because that's the other thing is like people, even within their own division, they were talking about the Rams. But then they were also talking about how the hell is the injured 49ers team 1 win away. They could have, because somewhere in between some of these games from week 15 to week 18, the Rams played the 49ers and whooped their ass. And then the 49ers played the Seahawks and lost, but they lost close. Like 13-3, anybody can win that game. That is still a close game. But then into the postseason, after they secured the 1 seed, like they just you kind of knew, okay, let's see how far the Eagles get. Niners aren't going anywhere because they're injured. We knew the Packers weren't going to do stuff. And at the same time, too, once we're around this area, too, in December, the Bears. Nobody was talking about the Bears at the beginning of the season last year or during the season. We started talking about the Bears after Caleb Williams hit the Iceman. That's when they started. And that was, a week 15 comeback? Because they came back twice against, my beloved Packers, because we can't hold a lead for shit. And that was, damn, when was that game? Let's go look it up. Let me move this out of the way. Seattle managed to. Now, why do I bring this up? Oh, I'm bringing all of this up. I had to remind myself. I'm bringing all this up because when it comes to undefeated teams and teams catching fire and going undefeated, I don't see it. I don't see a team starting Oh yeah, week 14, Green Bay. Yep. No, week 16. 22-16 overtime win. Week 16. That's when the Bears came back and they won their game right here. Because they got smoked right here and then they came back and they won that one. But then they had this Sunday night football game which was fun where defense took the day off. And then they had the Detroit game. So I all this to be said, like the reason why I bring it up is because if there is a team that does come out of nowhere, I just kind of went over like the Seahawks. The Seahawks managed to get themselves all the way to 10-2, yet nobody was talking about them. They were more concerned with the Niners. They were more concerned with the Rams. They were more concerned with like all these other teams. When people started to realize, holy fetch, they might be legit. Because the other thing too, and I will admit I was a little bit on this train as well. They were calling the Seahawks the most overrated number one seed next to the Broncos. And all of this was before the AFC and the NFC championship games. Why? Because Bo Nix was injured, but then also like people looked at like how the opening round went where wow, the 49ers went into Philadelphia and they beat the Eagles, they could possibly, beat the Seahawks. They're like that shift of positivity of, yeah, no, the Seahawks are a legit squad, blah blah blah. That didn't that did not happen until after they kicked the 49ers ass. And then that's when people realized, oh shit, this defense might be legit because they were talking about how their defense needed to be complementary with their offense because statistics wise, Sam Darnold didn't have the biggest season. He just didn't. And statistic wise, in some of the matchups in the regular season against the 49ers and the Rams, he didn't ball out. He actually got outperformed by Brock Purdy, by Matthew Stafford, by Baker Mayfield. Like it kind of just slid under the radar. And I don't think they were a schedule merchant like the Patriots, but just nobody went, oh shit, this team might actually legit win the Super Bowl until they put belt to ass on the 49ers. And that NFC championship game that happened too, because right after the Super Bowl finished, they go, well, the real Super Bowl was actually when they played the Rams. Like, yeah, so like to see the Patriots start out and jump out to a 7-2 record, to see the Chargers jump out to a 7-2 record. No, it's going to be a team that we could see it, but like it's like, oh, it's the Bucks. Oh, okay, like we can see it, but we don't see it. Like it'll take us a little bit of like, oh, look at the Jaguars instead of these expected teams like the Seahawks or like the Chiefs or I mean, if you ask TikTok, the Bears, we'd be like, hey, yeah, these teams are going to start 7-2. But it's like, no. These teams are probably going to hover around 500. I could see the Bills hovering around 500. But yeah, so I'll have the Ravens win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games as well. Which, thank you for listening to me go on that long tangent, basically to come back around and circle back around and to talk about, yeah, look, there's going to be some good teams, but like it's a new season. Like there could be, it's a new season. I don't expect teams to start off hot and start off on it because didn't one year we have the didn't the Vikings start off undefeated and then the Eagles started off undefeated and then they played each other and then like every year I feel like we have two or three teams that are undefeated and then it's like a race where it's like, okay, who's gonna lose first? Like the Steelers, throwback to the 2020 season, the Steelers started out 11-0 and then they lost to Washington. And same thing with these guys. with their schedule. Like, I was kind of brutally honest on, you know what? I'm not like, do I think the Steelers will be good and win the amount of games that they need to? Yes. But I do also see them losing to the Broncos or the Texans or the Jaguars or the Ravens. Like, just from right here on this Sunday night football game in week 10 to basically week 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, week 15. Tell me where an easy game is out of this slate of games. And this is going to make or break the Steelers season. These slate of games right here. If they cannot, through these 6 games, have a positive 4-2 record, if they mellow out to 3-3 or drop to 2-4, they're missing the postseason. Because yeah, you can beat the Panthers, you can beat the Titans, you can beat the Ravens, you can win out here. But these amount of games, because you got a divisional game here, 2 divisional games, but then you got a boom, boom, boom. It's just the math. It's too much because it puts the Texans higher within their own division and in the AFC standings. It puts the Jaguars higher in the AFC standings. It puts the Broncos higher, and just like the math, it would eliminate them because you look over here. Browns, they can beat the Browns, they can beat the Saints, they can beat the Colts, they can beat the Browns again. I do have them splitting 1-1 with the Bengals, 1-1 with the Ravens. But I had them losing to the Saints because I think Rodgers' record in international games is own. I don't think he's won one. Voice crack. Sorry about that, people. Hitting puberty. But they'll win. They'll win enough games. They'll win enough games to get to the postseason. They'll be a 6 seed. They'll be a 7 seed. If the North is close, I could see them be a 10-7 4th seed. Where they're division winners, but they went 10-7. They're division winners, but they went 9-8. I would lean more towards the 10 wins, where whoever the division winner is, whether it's the Ravens, whether it's the Bengals, whether it's the Steelers, I'm leaning towards that 10-win threshold because I think the 9-win threshold, the 9-8 division winner, that's going to be that, unanimous 4th seed. I'm going to award that to the NFC South because I don't think an AFC South winner or an AFC North winner with parity, like, I don't think the Steelers could be so bad that they go 8-9 and win the division because that would mean the Bengals had to be booty. The Browns would just have to be the Browns. But then the Ravens would have to be ass as well. Like, you got to understand that, like, a team winning the division at 8-9, a couple of things have to go into factor, but, like, they got to be bad. And the rest of the division has to be bad as well. It's like, how bad were the Steelers? And it just shows straight cheeks. Anyways, the Browns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can give them 6 wins. They punted on this season, literally and metaphorically. For me, I mean, and we're seeing it right now with Detroit in the baseball season. Them getting rid of Tarek Skubal. The Browns showed me, like, we've known how the Browns have been lately, but, like, the Browns trading away Myles Garrett shows they don't want to compete. I mean, to me, it'd be the same of, and I know this almost sounds, oh, that's blasphemous. It'd be the same as the Bills being like, okay, bye Josh Allen. Go enjoy sunny California. The Bengals next season after Joe Burrow's contract's up. Bye Joe. Bye Joe. Go enjoy sunny California after Matthew Stafford retires. Because that one's ramping up. I think that could be a legit situation because you got to look at like division quarterbacks. that are still Trevor Lawrence leaving Jacksonville to go to LA. I could very well see that. I don't know. Like there's parts of me I don't think I think Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson are in a unique situation, kind of like Kenny Pickett and kind of like Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe and other backups where I just don't see like how many times Jordan Love's the last one that I can think of more recently, but like how much longer is with just the Rams in general? I know Stafford just signed a 2-year extension, but like, what NFL quarterback has started and had a long career, but they were a backup for like 5 years, 6 years, and then they got their shot? You know what I mean? Like I know Ty Simpson was the backup forever at Alabama, and then he got his time to shine. But like, just I mean, like, wasn't Kenny Pickett in Vegas and then he got traded? And I just kind of, there's parts of me that could see where if the Rams want to stay in contention and they want to just kind of keep reloading this thing like the Dodgers, where it's like, okay, let's just go get player after player after player. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep kicking the can down the road, F them picks and all that. No, I'm not going to be surprised if they bring Lamar Jackson on board. If they bring Joe Burrow, I don't think Justin Herbert he wouldn't have to move, but like I couldn't see him jumping from the Chargers to, because the Chargers, trying to take an unbiased approach to it, the Chargers are better than the Bengals, but like the huge like elephant in the room is quarterback play. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. We know this, at least my opinion. There could be people once this stream is posted going, "You really think Burrow is better than Herbert?" But like I just don't see. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see young quarterbacks who are kind of like up on the rise. Of like, you know what? Hey, it wasn't working here. Come to LA. We already have a super team. We're just plug and play. Here we go. Let's just bring that quarterback over, just because that's. I'm not saying Stafford was young when he traded from the Lions to the Rams, but like, oh sheesh, let me think here. No. It'd have to be like 4 or 5 years from now, because I was trying to think like if Josh Allen left the Bills right now to go to the Rams, like would it, career wise, like seasons of like how many he was in Detroit before he left, it's not the same. It's not the same. Josh Allen hasn't been in Buffalo that long, as long as him. Um, who's another quarterback I'm thinking of? Oh, I don't think the Rams would take a shot for Kyler Murray, but like JJ McCarthy. Like, let's say it doesn't work in Minnesota, but like if there's a little bit of some upside, and like the Rams look at McCarthy or they look at can't say Mendoza because no, Baker Mayfield's going to, if he leaves the Bucks, he's going to the Steelers. Drake May. Let's say Drake May, for example, where it's like, hey, you know what? I was thinking of Mac Jones as well, where it's like you've shown kind of an, like everybody does that Sam Darnold era where didn't work here for the team you were drafted by, and it's like we'll take you. And so, anyways, yeah, I had the Browns. The Browns win 6 games. They're not bought in, and if they're not bought in, I'm not bought in. It's that simple. So drum roll, surprise to no one. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think the Ravens could bounce back. We'll see though. We'll see. Because I don't feel confident in picking. I want to pick the Bengals, truthfully, because I don't think the Steelers will go back to back, but I don't think the Steelers would miss the playoffs either. I think they're sending two teams. And to me, I think those two teams are the Ravens, because the Ravens got to have a bounce back season, and the Steelers. Those are the two teams that I think they send. Now, if it's the Ravens, it like kind of how my brain's thinking it'd be because the Ravens are the 4 seed. The Ravens are the 4 seed that went 10-7 or 11-6, and then that 7th seed would be the Steelers that went 10-7, 9-8. Because the South is probably only going to send one. The East is only going to send one. But then the West will send like 2 or 3. Just depending, because I could see the Chiefs getting to the postseason. I could see the Chargers getting to the postseason. I could see the Broncos getting to the postseason. All right. What about this defense? I know we're getting all, woo, look at all our playmakers on the offense. Look at who we got. What about the defense? I don't think, yeah. I kind of said this in my video too. My video reaction to the Bills is, it doesn't matter how many games they win. They could be 10-7. They could win 12 games. They could be the 1 seed. It's, can they beat the Chiefs? Can they beat the Broncos? Can they beat the Ravens? Can they beat the Bengals? Can they get over the hump? And to me, with just where this team is at, that's where I'm kind of like, it doesn't even matter if they're the 6th seed and they have to go play Jacksonville at Jacksonville, or they have to go play the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Like, chances are, yeah, I'm going to take the Bills. But there's just parts of me where if Josh Allen ever actually gets over the hump and they get to the Super Bowl, it's probably going to be on the road. I don't see them winning enough games where, no, Kansas City, you have to come play us. No, Denver, you have to come play us. Like, I just don't. When we talk about the Bills, we only talk about their offense, and we only talk about Josh Allen. And in the same breath, we don't go, yeah, that Bills defense is number 1. They can compete up there with the Texans or the Broncos. We don't talk like that, and we don't say it. Now, again, that's a very normie take. That's me looking and listening to like headlines and a lot of sports media, because who knows, maybe Bills defense shows up and shows out, but I just don't. Like, they got to take care of business against like the Lions and the Texans to start things out. They got to take care of business within the division against the Patriots. I think they split 1-1 against the Patriots, and with just how the cookie crumbles, they're going to lose to Miami in Miami or something like that. I think they can sweep the Jets. Truthfully, I think they could sweep the division. I think they could go 6-0 and sweep the division. But they got the Rams, they got the Lions, they got the Chargers, they got the Texans, they got a Ravens game. Of course, they have a Broncos game. Of course, they have a Chiefs game. Like, there's a lot of non-divisional games where they have to win, that are kind of like those big ticket games. I think they play the Eagles. Do they play the Eagles? Nope. Their big ticket game outside of their division and conference is the Rams. And the Rams. It's the Rams. I'm not comparing it with the Bears or the Packers. Maybe a little bit with the Lions, because the Lions are not the Rams. The Packers are not the Rams. And the Bears are not the Rams. Hear me hitting puberty again? God, why is my voice so freaking raspy? Frick, I haven't been yapping that much. Hello, as it's upside down. But, no. The Packers, Bears, they're not as good as the Rams. So, it doesn't matter how many games they win. The Bills have had Super Bowl or bust expectations ever since that 2022 divisional loss, so it's on them. It is on them. And of course, I'll say, yeah, Rams, Bills, Super Bowl, but yeah, I think their biggest threat postseason. It's being a road team in the postseason like how it was last season, where you got to go to Mile High, you got to go to Arrowhead, you got to go play. I don't know if they could go to the bank and win. I mean, I think they could. I think they could beat the Ravens. It would be a classic. It would be a absolute classic. And I would actually like. I think a Bills at Ravens game would be so much closer than a Bills at Steelers. Like, yeah, I don't know. Hell, Bills at Dolphins. No. All right, moving on. These are the Patriots. I think I had the Patriots win in 9 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had them win in 10. I think they're going to take a step back this year. I'm not bought in on this team. I know it was fun and it was cute and we got to go back to the Super Bowl and all of it. Like, go look at their freaking schedule and go look at the quarterbacks they had to play this past season. Like, I think, it's not to no fault of the Patriots. It's not their fault for who they played and who was in front of them, because you got to play the games that are in front of you. But like, they made a montage of like all the QBs that they played and beat throughout the postseason and the regular season. You can't predict CJ Stroud putting up a stinker. You can't predict Justin Herbert putting up a stinker. But then you look at all the other teams and QBs that they played during the regular season, and it's like, yikes. I will give them credit for, didn't they start 10-2? Like, they won like 10 games in a row, and like, games did stack, and I will give them credit for that, because I think once you start winning lots of games and stacking game after game after game, there's some pressure that starts to build, because winning is not easy in the NFL. We know this. But when you look back at the bigger picture and go, wow, who's the craziest quarterback you played this season? And it's like, Josh Allen twice. And one of their losses was because you blew a lead. It's kind of like, ooh, maybe we got to look at this season a little different. Like, let me pull up. Let me show you what I'm thinking here. By the way, if you're a fan of the Phillies or the Toronto Blue Jays, it is 5-5 right now. Let's go to the standings. The Patriots. All right, let me pull this up here real quick. Let's go to the schedule. All right. So, Rodgers, I'll give him credit playing Rodgers. But look, I will give them credit because Baker was playing this one. I'll give them that. But like, you had no Joe Burrow, a rookie Jackson Dart. Lamar played. Did Lamar? I don't think. Did Lamar play this game? Yes, but he got injured. Yep, this was the Sunday Night Football game where he got injured. Yep. Like, you look at like the teams that they played. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give you credit for beating the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna give you credit for beating Tampa, but then like the Saints, the Titans, the Browns. Let's count it this way: miss the playoffs, 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 miss the playoffs. You beat 10 teams that didn't go to the playoffs. Shit. You put the Broncos through that same gauntlet, probably the same result. And then this was the Bengals without Joe Burrow. I think this was Joe Flacco. I think this was it Tyrod Taylor playing in this one, or Justin Fields? I can't remember. Now this one, yeah, I will give them credit. Like, he did compete, and they did outperform Mayfield and the Bucks. And this was also when the Bucks started to slide. I mean, because I believe the next Sunday was the Sunday Night Football when Tampa went and played the Rams, and they just got their ass kicked. But then again, you go play Miami, who missed the playoffs, New York, who missed the playoffs, the Ravens, which we already went through. This is the one where Lamar got injured sometime in the first quarter. Then they played Josh Allen, and then they blew a 28-point lead in this one, I think. It was halftime. It was 24-7. 24-7. Yep, 24-7. And then the Bills just had a second half surge in that. And then in the postseason, you played Herbert, that stunk up the joint. You played CJ Stroud, who gift wrapped 4 turnovers, 4 picks. This could have been a blowout. This game should have been a blowout. This game should have been a blowout. And then you played a backup. Not saying that Stidham's not the guy, but this game was different for a variety of reasons. I mean, like, the first half was fine, and then the second half was a snow blizzard. But anyways, all that to say, with their upcoming schedule, I'm not giving them as many wins this time around. I think they'll take a step back, and I think it's going to start with them getting whacked week 1 against the Seahawks. Just because there's too much of, like, even without Kenneth Walker and some, like, pieces that have been traded in the offseason, like, there's just parts of me where Seahawks aren't losing this game. Seahawks could, like, let's say May does show up. Let's say that the Patriots, just from the gate, they're just kicking the Seahawks' ass. And it could be like the 49ers and the Bears, where it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all day. There's just parts of me, though, that this has the makings of, okay, 2-minute warning. Okay, Darnold, go prove that Super Bowl wasn't a fluke. And, like, he takes them on a game-winning drive. They kick the field goal. They win it or something. Or you're hitting JSN on a post, and then, boom, Seahawks win. They walk it off. And Seahawks start 1-0, and Patriots drop to 0-1. And then you also look, because we were comparing last season's schedule where you're throwing the Titans, the Falcons, the Browns, the Saints. A lot different this year with boom, boom, playoff team, 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 playoff team. Anyways, we move on. They could potentially go 0-17. We move on. They could also potentially go 0-17. We move on. I'll have the Bills win in the division. I think ultimately, the Bills losing their games outside of the division and then them losing that Sunday Night Football game was the cause of the Patriots winning the division, because there's this weird math behind it. I think, and I've said this before on streams, I think the division winner should go to the team that wins the most division games. You could play like dog shit out of your division, and you could go 6-11. But if you beat the Packers, you beat the Bears, and you beat the Lions, yes, you Vikings sitting at 6-11 should go to the postseason. But do I think you deserve a home game as, the 4th seed at 6-11? Hell no. I think you should be the 7th seed. But we talk about division and division importance, but then when it comes to actually winning division games, it's like, so that's one thing I would change in the NFL. I would try to find a way to, I don't know how to do this, but like have the 1 and the 2 seeds have buys. I don't know. Like, can you do that? Can you have a 1, 2? Can you have 8 teams and then the first 2 get a bye? Can you do that? How the hell would hold on? So if your 1 seed and your 2 seed have a bye, but then oh my math, oh my brain. Do you see the gears in my head trying to turn? Okay, so hold on. So you have a 1 seed right here, a 2 seed right here, and then just here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, wait, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. They'd have to have 1, 2. Huh? How would that? Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. 16 team bracket. Hold on. Let me look. Let me pull up the college football playoff bracket. Real quick. Hold on. We'll make this quick. Because my brain. I think I'm onto something. So Texas Tech had a. So hold on. 12. But it's just 12. So it'd have to be 6 and 6. But I want more than that. What about can you do a 16? Wait. $16-team bracket, but then you have the first 2 teams with byes. Oh, hello. Or, hear me out. Yeah, no buys. You chalk it up like basketball. Basketball and hockey. 1 seed faces the 8th seed. Nobody gets a buy. That I could buy in on that. That'd be nice. Because here's the thing too. I don't think anybody would complain because like football is football. But like if you want to do a rest week, kind of like a bye week before you get into the postseason to give guys time to rest. Some teams aren't even playing their starters in week 18, but like if you want to do a win and you're in, like an NFL playing, yes, because you know the NFL would stoop and do that. But like you have 2 teams compete for the 7th seed and 2 teams compete for the 8th seed. But then everybody else gets to sit and have a like that bye week in between. But then if you have 2 teams, 2 teams, 2 teams, 2 teams, that's 4 games. That is 4 games for 1 week, 1 weekend where you can have 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and then the next week 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, and then we go, and then everybody's going, everybody's playing. Which to me, okay, hot take. I think postseason games in the NFL, put it back on Sunday. Put it all on Sunday. Like this whole it leaking over into Saturday and Monday. It's like, what are we doing? But that's just my hot take. All right, moving on. Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville can win. How many games did I give them? By recent trends, probably 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ding, ding, ding. 10 wins. Wow, this was not brave at all. Just 10 wins. I think they can. I think their biggest threat, a healthy Colts squad. Because I think they can take care of business against the Texans. I really do. And as I can't believe I'm thinking this. There is parts of me where I feel like the Colts offense complements their defense more than the Texans offense complements their defense, because Texans have the best defense in the division, but their offense is just a little like I'm that 4 interception playoff loss to not only the Patriots, but then the year before that to the Chiefs, and then the year before that to they lose to the year before that. I think it was the Chiefs. I think they lost to the Chiefs in back-to-back years. Like it just, yeah, um, yeah. I think they take care of business against the Colts. They'll be fine. Um, you look at some of their non-division games, like the Steelers, the Bears, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Bengals, the Eagles. I mean, they kind of Cowboys. If you want to throw the Cowboys or Washington up there, and the Ravens. How the hell did I miss the Ravens? It's right there in front of me. I mean, they got the short end of the stick on that account because, again, playoff team, potential playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team. Yeah, they gotta win a couple because there's, I mean, non-division opponents, like if they play, like I mean, they lucked out, like they don't have to play the 49ers or the Rams or the Seahawks, but it's like, dude, you could like throw, like, let's replace the East with the South. Like you throw the Bucks right here, you throw Saints, Falcons, and Panthers. That's 3 easy wins. Maybe you lose to the Bucks, but you beat the Saints, you beat the Falcons, and you beat the Panthers. Like that's 3 easy wins. Cowboys, that's going to be a hard win. Eagles is going to be a hard win. I think they could beat the Giants. I think they could beat Washington. I do think they could beat the Cowboys, but I still do think it's going to be a hard win. Like, I don't know. So I think I had them going 10-7. Tennessee, ooh, not 10-7. That's for sure. I see a lot of X's on here. I had them winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Still young QB, young. Now, you remember how I was talking about teams that make a jump where it's like, wow, here we go, where we didn't expect it. This is a divisional game, so I wouldn't be surprised if they won this game, just strictly because it's a divisional game. Like even the Raiders have beaten the Chiefs through the Chiefs era lately. But if they can beat the Ravens and the Eagles, yeah, they could be sitting at their bye week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-0. Now, that is a big stretch. Do I think it's reasonable? Do I think it's legit? No. I don't think the Titans are going 8-0. But how I was talking earlier, where if we see a team come out of nowhere and be really good, I think they could beat the Colts. Division round games. You stack 2 division wins together, very, very reasonable, very attainable. You beat the Browns, everybody can beat the Browns. But then you beat the 2 hard teams here in the Eagles and the Ravens. If you can beat the Ravens and you can beat the Eagles, you damn sure can beat the Colts and you can beat the Bengals. So, again, 8-0, going into the bye week, possible, but I mean, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think the Titans are better than the Eagles, and I don't think they're better than the Ravens. So that's why I have them winning this many games. And then on the other end, when you get to the other end, you got the Lions, you got the Steelers, you got the Texans again. So we'll see if the Titans, because again, year 2 QB jump, new head coach. I mean, have we had year 2 QB jump? Mahomes had one. I'm trying to think who else. So I don't know. Unique, yeah. That was a weird hot take that I just had, but I'll take it though. I'll take it like this. I also don't see them losing more than 3 in a row. I know that I can see that easy right here, like where 3, then a win, loss win, 3, and then a win. I don't, as much as there's parity where I don't think teams are going to start 8-0, 7-1. I don't think, unless you're the Jets, the Dolphins, or the Cardinals, I don't see teams losing more than 5 in a row this season either. Because again, like the parity of we have gotten our shit kicked in for 5 straight weeks, and then the Rams only have 2 losses. Let's go kick their ass, and they do. And it's like, what the hell? To just kind of like reset the tone of like, no, there's parity. Everybody can win it. The Super Bowl is going to. I think the Super Bowl is going to one of these 5 teams. Rams, which is duh, no brainer. Chiefs, duh, no brainer. Eagles, Niners. Got to be smart here with the last one. Broncos. It's going to one of those 5. I don't think the Texans are there yet. I don't think the Titans, Colts, Jags. Don't think they're there yet. But all right, moving on. How many wins did I give them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had them going 9-8. Yep, 9-8. 9-8 with the Jags going 10-7. So then the Jags would be in at that 4 seed, or actually the 3 seed, because again, I think the South and the North. Because if the Steelers win the North, they're not going to win the North with 12 wins. But yeah, I think whoever wins the West will be the 1 seed. Whoever wins the East will be the 2 seed, and then the South will most likely be the 4 seed. The North will most likely be the 3 seed, but the North and the South will both be tied with 10-7 record or 11-6, because Texans aren't getting more wins than the Bills. Hell no. Texans are not winning as many games as the Patriots. Like, let's say the Patriots do repeat as division champs. The Texans are not winning as many games as the Patriots. Let me take off my glasses because they're starting to get a glare and a reflection. Which, should we turn the... Oh, damn it. I opened a... Whoops. No. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. That looks fine. The lighting's not too bad. Here, let me close Adobe Premiere Pro. I accidentally clicked my thing, and it's like my time to shine. How we doing, people? So back to it. Yeah. If the Broncos repeat as West champs and they win a lot of games like they did last season, you think the Jaguars or you think the Colts are keeping pace and winning 14 games as well? 15 games? No. The answer is no. The answer is no. Sorry. No. Not happening. So, and then we go the Colts. How many did I give the Colts? I've been giving some high praise on the Colts this stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have them going 9-8. Yeesh. But again, I mean, you can turn some games around here. Like, could the Colts beat the Giants? Yeah. Could the Colts beat... Could the Colts beat this Titans squad? Yes. Now, having them win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a... No, I don't see that. I could see teams like sprinkled throughout the season get on a 6-game win streak. I could see that. 10-game win streaks, probably not. Like winnable. winnable, winnable. Like this, I mean, let's look at some of their losses here. Not gonna flip these. I do have them splitting 1-1 with the Jags, so I'm not gonna flip this. I do have them splitting with the Texans 1-1, so I'm not gonna flip this. But we could flip this one, give them one more win. We could flip this one, give them one more win. Flip this one, give them one more win. So that's 3 more wins. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ceiling 12 wins. Now, this is also buying a little bit into the Pat McAfee. You know, hey, Colts are the best. Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. But also looking a little into last season, how they attacked the season and were really good until Jones got injured. Here's the thing, because everybody's been talking about that offensive line and everybody's talking about the run game. I do think the Colts can win 12 games. Fun fact, I think the Colts could win 12 games, 13 games. But when it comes to, and this is kind of how I felt about the Bills, if the Colts are the home team and the Bills have to come in for the wild card game, like let's say the Colts are the 4th seed and the Bills lose out on the division and they're the 6th seed again, or they're the 5th seed because the Patriots went back to back or something. I think the Bills can beat the Colts in the postseason. And like, okay, wow, you won 14 games, you're the 3 seed, you go play the 6th seed. The Chargers. I think the Chargers could beat the Colts. I think the Ravens could beat the Colts. Like, I think the Colts could dominate in the regular season and win as many games as they want. You know, yeah, go flip this Jacksonville game, flip this Titans game. But like postseason success, there's a difference. There is a distinct difference. And that's kind of why I'm not trying to overact too much with like wins and losses and, you know, trying to make it set in stone. I'm like, no, I think the Broncos are winning this amount of games. The Bills, they got to be the 1 seed. They got to win 15 games. Something like I'm not too worried about that because like you look at the AFC, 1, 2 games, 2 teams. Of all these AFC teams, I don't think the Dolphins are winning in the postseason. I think the Jags could get past the wild card, but if there's a divisional round, Jags and Baltimore, Jags and Chiefs, these 2 teams have played in the postseason. We know how that game's going. If it's in Jacksonville, maybe. But if it's in Arrowhead, we know how that game's going. So, all right, moving on. I'll take the Jaguars. I think, I think this has to be the year where the Jags get to, because I think Texans, I think Jacksonville bought some time, not because like his rookie year was under Urban Meyer, but like notice how the tone with how Trevor Lawrence has won just as many playoff games as Bryce Young, and CJ Stroud has more playoff wins than Trevor Lawrence. But like, I think even though I think it's a year separation. It's either a year or 2 year separation from draft classes. This could be the season where Chargers aren't going to let Herbert go. There's no way. But let me pull up. Let's look at some of the QBs here. Let me go through teams in the NFL. And let's go to, because again, everybody's overreacting. And hey, guys, Carson Beck might be the dude. He might be the dude in Arizona. But Bills aren't moving on from Josh Allen. Yeah, Jacksonville, Houston, Dallas, Green Bay, but with the Carolina, Atlanta especially, New Orleans especially, Tampa, and Arizona, but it's like go figure. But of those 9 teams, let's just go with Tampa, Carolina, Green Bay, Jacksonville, and Houston. Okay, because again, I don't think Bills aren't moving on. The Chargers are going to stay with Justin Herbert. This could be the year where there's like conversations on, let's say that Jacksonville gets dog walked in the wild card game, where they are, well, if they're the 4th seed, they'll be the home team. But let's say like, they're the home team. That 7th seed is, I gotta pick a team that is not Houston or any of the other. The Bills. No, let's go with the Ravens. Because Baltimore's going to keep Jackson for a while. But let's say the Jaguars and the Ravens are playing in the wild card, and the Ravens just come in and kick Jacksonville's ass. There's parts of me, and I feel the same with the Texans, the Panthers, where it might start the conversations on, okay, is this our QB for the future, or do we gotta fix this? Because like I just think about like you gotta throw the Packers in there too, because it's like who. Well, I mean, like with Detroit, for example, Detroit knows that they hit their ceiling with Stafford, and they moved on, and like they have cleaned house many times in Detroit. Because like there's parts of me that think like if Stafford was on Detroit now, like with everything that's around Detroit now, maybe it would have been a little bit more successful. But like there's just parts of me of like I don't think C.J. Stroud, I don't think Bryce Young, I don't think Trevor Lawrence, I don't think they're going to get the same treatment as Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, where it's like, oh, we lost in the postseason for 5 straight years, 6 straight years. It's fine. Let's reload and let's go next year. Like I don't see that. Like there's gonna be another QB prospect. Like let's say that the Panthers have a down year. Okay. Um, you don't think? I mean, again, this is a hypothetical. But like, let's say that Texas or Oregon or LSU or Notre Dame or Penn State or let's say like the Mendoza of this upcoming draft class. Let's say Carolina only wins 4 games, 5 games. Um, and Carolina has a shot where they're top 3, top 4 in the draft, but they could make a move and jump up to the top draft pick spot. You don't think they're going to try to go for a Lenore Sellers or Sam Levitt or Rocco Becht, or like you don't think they would, like, coming right off of a national championship? Dante Moore and the Ducks just won the national championship. He was the Heisman winner, arguably the best quarterback of the season. You don't think the Panthers would be like, I gotta pick between Dante Moore or Bryce Young, and get the new shiny toy? You don't. Franchises do that all the time. I mean, go look at the Browns. They've drafted a quarterback every single year for like the last 10 straight years. All right, moving on. Broncos. These guys can coast after the Chiefs game. Because look at all the boom, boom, boom. They're getting the Chiefs games out of the way early. Playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team. So 6 straight playoff teams. Playoff team, potential playoff team. But then from this Steelers game, but realistically from this Chiefs game, dude, all they got to do is coast, man. All they freaking got to do is coast. Because, yeah, they'll get up for the Bills and they'll go play the Bills on Christmas. But it's like, it's in their barn. They're most likely going to win this game. But then you look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games. Very reachable. They take care of business, sweep the Chiefs. So I have them splitting 1-1. But let's try to flip. Let's try to flip some games here. Reason why I gave them a loss here is because I was like, they're not going to win 7 in a row, 8 in a row, 9, 10, 11. They're not winning 11 games in a row. Not going to do that again. So not flipping that one. But you could, but it's like you got to lose here. You got to lose somewhere. But then you look at outside of the division, dude, they caught the luckiest straw. They can beat the Cardinals. They could beat the Panthers, Raiders. They could beat the Steelers. They could beat the Dolphins. Like, look at the luck. But I'm not going to call it luck, but like, dude, don't you think, who was the team that we just looked at? We just looked at a team that had like some pretty tough non-conference. It's like, you think they would, it was, the Jaguars, okay? You don't think like the Jaguars could benefit from playing like the Raiders or the Jets or the Dolphins or the Panthers or the Cardinals? You don't think they could benefit from it? Because like the other tough teams within the NFC West, you gotta deal with them. Boom, 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 back to back to back to back. In the first, okay, wow, you end after week 6, 3-3, but then look at these amount of games where you can just start stacking wins here and then kind of coast until you have to play the Bills. So I think the Broncos could be really good. We'll just see. Chiefs, back to form, back to getting back on top. I do think Mahomes is going to be back for the opening game. That's been the talk of the town. Everybody's been going over that and looking at that and circling week 1. I do think he'll be there. I do think he'll be ready to go. But even if he wasn't and they didn't want to rush him back into it, whoever is at Q, literally they could go 4-0. They could start 4-0 and it wouldn't even matter. Because I don't think they'd lose to either of these two teams, or they could start 2-2 and they'd be just fine. Like, if you don't want to rush Mahomes back in there and risk an injury, which I don't think he would get injured, but like literally you could sit him till the bye week, have him come out week 6, because if Justin Fields is your QB or Nussmeier, you're beating the Dolphins, you're beating the Raiders. Okay, you get spanked by the Broncos opening day. Whatever. It's a tax write-off, okay? Look at it that way. Oh, you lose off of a field goal against the Colts. Okay, whatever. Guess what? These two games have no implications on the postseason or where our seeding is in the postseason. And if it does, then the AFC was pretty weak that year. Because from there, look at the amount of games that they could rattle off here. You think the Chiefs are losing to the Falcons? The Cardinals? The Jets? I mean, you gotta get up for these 3 games here in the middle. You gotta get up for this one. But Chiefs will be fine. I think the Chiefs can get back to dominance that they have been in the past. I'm not going to use the Mahomes injury as an excuse for them missing the postseason. They played bad. They played bad last year. With him in. And you know, social media, when they talk, like, they'll give excuses. They'll be like, oh well this, oh well this, oh well this. Like, it's part of the game, it's part of the gig. But I think all things considered, I think the Chiefs will still bounce back. And even before he got injured, here's the funny thing too. He got injured, week 14? Week 13? Like, it's not like he got injured week 1. Like, Chiefs showed, even when he was healthy, they weren't going to the postseason. All right. With the Chargers, I had them winning. How many do I got here? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have them going 10 and 7. Oh, how many did I give the Chiefs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's pretty safe. It's pretty safe. So let's start looking at non-division. 8 playoff teams. And then you got to play the Chiefs and Broncos. So there's 4 more games. 12 of their games are against playoff teams. This team, I would chalk it up to the Cowboys as well. If they can stack wins, they would be the most fit. I mean, if you beat the Chiefs, if you beat the Broncos, you beat the Rams, you put like they have played everybody. I think the only team that, you know, you could get the yips from, considering who they have played, if you play the Bengals in the postseason, because it's like, we haven't played them, so we don't know how to prepare. But it's like, okay, if they play against the Ravens in the postseason, they played them during the regular season. Texans, Broncos, Chiefs, like no team would like creep up on them. And then like if they met in the Super Bowl, they played the Rams. They know how to play the Rams. They played the Bucks. They played the Niners. They know how to play the Cardinals. They know how to. Let me not get ahead of myself. The only other team that I could see him have the yips against would be the Lions if the Lions get to the Super Bowl. The Eagles if the Eagles get to the Super Bowl. The Bears, but Bears aren't going to the Super Bowl. So, like, these 10 wins that I gave them, because I do think they could split 1-1 with the Chiefs and 1-1 with the Broncos. Tell me where an easy win is. Tell me, other than the Dolphins and the Raiders and the Jets, is this an easy win? Is this an easy win? Easy win? Easy win? Easy win? Easy win? Tell me where an easy win is. So this team, worst. This team could win 5 games if they're not careful. Like, but I don't. I think, though, they can win a couple of games. Oh, boy. The Raiders. They got some tough games. 1, 2, 3 in a row. 4 in a row. 5 out of 6. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 9 games. That is a hand. Oh my gosh. You could even, if you want, chalk it up to these two as well. Where, because I have said this. I think if they're so bad, because there's parts of me where if they're so bad, they won't put Mendoza out there. But if they're bad but good, where maybe we could do a QB change. And again, this is my opinion. I have no inside resource. But my take is if they are sitting at 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, like if Kirk Cousins is rolling, they're going to stick with him. But like if they're sitting here at the end of week 9 at 4-4, whoops, my bad, or 4-5, there was parts of me where, yeah, let's switch up QB, because, oh my gosh, there's parts of me where everybody's been talking about, is Mendoza going to play this year? And is Mendoza going to start any games? And like, everybody's just kind of convinced that he's not, and everybody's convinced that Mendoza's going to sit a year. I don't think he is. Because I think after Like I gave them a win here against the Patriots, but like there's parts of me, Kate. Wow, Raiders, you started 3-0 with Kirk Cousins. Wow, but then you dropped 4 out of the last 5, and after starting 3-0, you're sitting before week 10. Because there's parts of me I don't think they'd throw Mendoza, throw him to the fire, have him go play, the Seahawks or the Broncos. Like there's parts of me where if they throw Mendoza into the fire, it's going to be here against the Jets so that he can warm up. Or like use this game as a warm up, but like you start 3-0, but then 3-3, 3-4, 4-4, 4-5. If they're sitting at 4-5, how do you think Raider fans are gonna feel? Oh no. Keep Cousins out there. We're fine. We're 4-5. Whatever. No. Keep him out there, because then that 4-5 is gonna drop to 4-6, 4-7, and then at that point, so I just like if it is bad, if it's like bad, where no, they don't beat the Chargers here. And they're sitting here at, instead of 4-7, they're sitting at, well, 1, 2, 3 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses. Yeah, there's parts of me where, okay, this is where Mendoza gets his start and he plays the last 5 games of the season or something. I don't know. Because, like, I don't, like, I've given him, like, I don't think they lose to the Dolphins, but, like, okay, 1 win, 2 wins, and then they lose out. Like, there's the Jets here, so they could beat the Jets, but, like, yeah, they start 1-1, 2-1, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 2-6, 2-7. Like if they 2-8, 2-9. Yeah, because at that point, if they're 2-9, like they're so bad, it's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna put Mendoza out there. They are so bad. Versus sitting comfy in the pocket at 4-5, maybe they might make a push. I don't know. I just don't. They drafted Mendoza. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Damn, I need a new mic. Dude, one day I'll get a new mic. Yeah, this mic decides to, like, I move it a little bit and it decides we're good, and it unplugs itself every time. Not from the cord itself, but from like the internal processor or whatever. I need one of those mics that screw in from the bottom, like the podcast mics where like they're moving the armchair around all the time, but like with the back and the bottom of how like it connects, whatever. Hey, does it shock you guys that I picked the Chiefs to win the division? It shouldn't. It shouldn't, but I picked the Chiefs. All right, let's go to the Bears. Um, the Bears, I think their push to the playoffs starts right here at the Lions around Thanksgiving, where, okay, they could have a losing record or whatever, but from right here, you stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, 7 games. This push from the Thanksgiving, well, you can even creep it up a little bit and go from the Saints game after the bye week. This will be what gets them in the postseason or not. I think I don't have them again. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I also have them going 10-7. I don't know if I have them going to the postseason, but yeah, I don't even know what to say, bro. I'm not too overly hey about the Packers. Like literally, if we play the Eagles, we play the Rams, we play and this is how stacked the NFC is. Tell me as the 5 seed who that 4 seed is going to be. Okay, we luck out. We go play the Falcons. Okay, we beat the Falcons. Who's waiting for us there in the divisional? The Rams, 49ers, the Seahawks, the Eagles. The I could see us beating the Bucks in the divisional round. I could see us also beating the Lions in the divisional round and getting to the NFC Championship. But then from there, who's waiting for us? The Rams, the Seahawks, the Eagles, the 49ers, and then we get smoked out. So I gave them a couple wins here, where I think they can have a strong first half of the season. It's the second half of the season where boom, 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 boom. There's a couple games here where if they drop them, like after this week 10 win and going into the bye, hey, we're looking actually pretty good. We only have 4 losses, 6 wins. Well, yeah, 6 wins, right? 6 wins. We're sitting number 1 in the NFC. We just beat the Vikings. And we mathematically, game wise, we have a game up on the Lions. We're tied with the Lions, but we have a game up on them because we beat the Vikings versus the Lions during week 10. Lions lost to the Bears, so we're sitting pretty, top of the NFC North. But then, loss. I gave them 2 wins here not because I'm a Packer fan, but because I can't give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight losses. But again, it's the Packers. They'll let me down. They'll win. They'll lose 5 games in a row. It's happening. Um, but I could see it be one of those things where, um, just you have the Bills coming off of a huge win like week. Who did the Bills play week 13? Let's go week 13 and week 12. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh shit. I'm not including bye weeks. Hold on. 1, 2. Okay, so week 11 is a bye week. So we are counting bye weeks. Because 11, 12, 13. Okay, hold on. Now let's go back here. So we're going week 13, week 12, week 11. Okay, week 11, week 12, week 13. So here we go. The Bills are coming off of 2 huge wins, reclaiming the AFC East after spanking the Patriots and sweeping them in the regular season, kicking the Chiefs' ass on Thanksgiving night. Okay, so Bills are riding high. Then they come into Lambeau, and the Packers are sitting barely above 500. And oh, look at this. We got to keep Packers' hopes alive. We got to, and somehow the Packers just squeak on by. And that's why I gave them a win, because do I think the Packers are better than the Bills? Hell no. But there will be checks and balances throughout the season of we're sitting with the Rams. Now let's go take a look at the Rams schedule. Week 12. Let's go week 12 down for the Rams. We're sitting with the Rams week 12. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Week 12 and down. Okay. Big one against the Chargers, but it's your last 2 weeks. I'm not, wishing that Washington would be injured from here, but it's Washington gives you no contest. I put it a loss here for parity reasons, but it's because I can't have the Rams going 17-0, period. End of story. But it's okay, you have Washington here. You have the Cardinals here, who gave no fight at all. You were up 40-0 at halftime, and then you have a bye week, and then it's you have no get up here, because it's for the last month, the last team that gave you fits since week 5 against the Bills was the Chargers, because you've kind of gotten a little soft because you played the Raiders, you played the Cardinals twice, you had a bye week, and so like high intensity games, you forgot that feeling from week 5 through 12. You forgot that feeling versus the Packers, who just got done, barely squeaking by against the Patriots, barely beating the Vikings, a divisional game, you know, playing teams to their same level. Cowboys, same level. Lions, same level. Panthers, same level. Patriots, same level. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games and a bye week. And then it's like, boom, we caught them. I don't know. Plus, it looks better. It looks better on the resume of like, look, dude, the Packers have been dog shit all year, but look at that. They beat the Rams. They beat the Bills. Man, if only they. So that's another sarcastic reason why I gave them a win here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gave them 10 wins. You can flip this. You can flip that, and then that 10-7 just turned into an 8-9, and they missed the playoffs. So, all right. With the Lions, I gave them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I give them 12. I am overreacting. I am reaching a little bit, but I mean, of the whole, I ain't trusting the Bears. Not trusting the Bears. Not trusting the Vikings. It's going to go between the Packers and the Lions. And right now, I think the better team is the Lions. And so, yeah, spoiler alert, I have the Lions potentially winning the division. But, like, you look here. Okay, give them a quick loss here. Boom. Missing the playoffs, missing the playoffs, missing the playoffs, missing the playoffs. You have 4 teams that could easily miss the playoffs. 5, including them. They get up, they win these games, they can sit pretty going into the bye week in week 6, sitting at 4-1. Roll on some momentum. I will admit, overreact. I give them a lot of wins. You can give them a loss here between one of these two, but you give them a win here. I think I gave them a win here because I think this week 15, I gave them a loss because it's like I gotta have them split in 1-1, and then their Thanksgiving game is right here, and so because it's right here, I had to give, because like Lions don't win on Thanksgiving, so that's why I give them 3 straight here. Again, it's not gonna roll out like this, and if it does, I'll be impressed as hell. But I think the Lions can come back to form. I do think they split 1-1 with the Bears, but I could see them sweeping the Bears, but they got to win this Thanksgiving game. I could see, and then here with the Packers and the Vikings, these are both home games. This could be for the division. Packers haven't won the division since Rodgers left. I'm not changing my opinion on that. I don't see it changing, and so that's why I have them sweeping the Packers. I mean, we could flip some things here, like they could lose to the Giants here. They could lose one of these 3 games here, like they could lose this one against the Panthers and drop that 12 wins down to 11. But I think they're going to get to the postseason. I think they're going to win the division. I think they'll be fine. The Vikings, their gauntlet starts right here at the Lions and then goes Lions, Bucks, Packers, San Francisco. Like this right here, these 4 games, which I had them losing all 4, this is their make or break if they push, because you could beat the Falcons, you can beat the Panthers, you can beat the Patriots, you can beat the Lions again, because this is going to be their, and you can throw the Colts in the mix too. This will be their push on if they get to the postseason. These 5 games, if they end this with a 1-4 run, they're not making the postseason. They're not. And they also have other stuff of like, okay, who's our QB? Packers are going to give them fits. Bears are going to give them fits. Lions are going to give them fits. So there's a lot. I could also see Kyler Murray taking the Sam Darnold route. And I know, not the first one who said this, where having riding high on the Saints, where it's like watch him ball out for the Vikings, help him get 12 wins, 13 wins, and then they get smoked out by like the Packers in the playoffs or the Rams or somebody, and then it's like the Vikings do what they do, and oh, we'll see you later. Go have fun on this other team. And then he goes to the Falcons or something, and he gets paid millions and millions of dollars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 and 9. I'm not gonna flip that Bills one because I'm just not. I don't think the Vikings are better than the Bills. I'm not gonna flip the 49ers one because I don't think the Vikings are better than the 49ers. I could flip this Patriots one, but to flip this Patriots one, we got to put a loss somewhere here because I don't think they're going to win 4 in a row or 5 out of the last 6. So that's the Vikings. But again, back to who I think is going to win the division. Give me the Lions. I'm convinced with the Lions. I think the Lions will be fine. And so, yeah, moving on. Let's get to the tush push of Philly. How many wins did I give them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I give them 11 wins. Trying to keep it honest. Because I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they were in some of those Super Bowl run years. But I do think they could bounce back. Yet they made the playoffs. Interesting. I could see the Eagles. I could see the Eagles be the 2 seed or the 3 seed. I think the Eagles are making the playoffs for one, but I think the Eagles. I think the 1 seed is out of reach. I think the 1 seed is going to the Rams. But of the NFC, let me pull up the NFC real quick. The NFC. Pull up the NFC real quick. All right, in the NFC, the only teams that I think could beat them are the Rams and the 49ers. I think they could beat Seattle. I think they could beat Arizona. I think they could beat Tampa in Tampa. I think they could beat the Saints in New Orleans. I think they could beat Falcons in Atlanta. I'm trying to look at it from the approach too of like, let's pretend they're the away team in a playoff series. I think they could beat the Packers in Lambeau. I think they could beat the Vikings. I do. That Detroit Lions game, that'd be huge. That'd be a huge win. It'd be a tough one, but yeah, Lions, Eagles in a playoff game. That'd feed families. That'd be awesome. Bears, I could see them beating the Bears on the road. I mean, the Rams did last year. Now there are a few clutch plays, but I could see them beating Washington. I could see them beating New York. I could see them beating Dallas. So, yep, highest the Eagles could get this season, the 2 seed or the 3 seed. Lowest 7. Other options, they missed the postseason altogether. They're such dog water that they just go, hey, you know what, guys? Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. And they just decide not to go. They say, you know what? We have been dominating the NFL so much. You guys hate us for our tush push. We're going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. We're going to give you guys the Kansas City treatment where we're going to take this postseason off. You guys go enjoy, and we'll see you next year. Kind of like how, because we were like with the Chiefs, for example, the Chiefs gave us a Kansas City free postseason, but then it's like, okay, so who replaces the Chiefs in the AFC? And it's like the Patriots. Damn it! Nothing changed. Nothing changed at all. So, all right, yeah, give them a loss here against the Rams. Rams get a little bit of revenge, and this time it's them blocking the field goal. They'll probably split 1-1 with New York. I don't think, I mean, for the first time in over 20 years, they had a back-to-back division winner. So it'd be a stretch to go, okay, three-peat, baby. I think their non-division games, look, Bears, Titans, Panthers, Jags, Cardinals, Colts, easy, easy winnable games. Well, not easy. No game is easy in the NFL, but very winnable. Cowboys. They'll tussle. They'll tussle with the Cowboys, but there's parts of me that think this game could be for the division. If I were to lean towards a team, I'd lean towards the Giants or the Cowboys winning the division. Because again, we haven't had a back-to-back winner in over 20 years. So to be like, yeah, give the Eagles repeat. No. So I'm kind of leaning on somebody else has to take it. But I'm not trusting in Washington and I'm not trusting in New York. So it's like, no, Dallas. So I'm picking New York. All right. I give them 4 wins here. We'll see, man. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I give them 10 wins. 10-7. All right. All right. Okay, tell me how you really feel. I think funny enough, I put it as a loss here, and then on the Rams schedule, I put it as a loss on the Rams schedule as well. I had them losing both of them. Both of them, no distinct winner. Did I? Oh, I did have them sweeping the Cowboys. All right. Okay, losses that we could flip. Well, they'll go 1-1 with the Eagles, so we'll leave that. I won't flip this one because I don't think they could win 5 in a row or 6 in a row, so we'll leave that there. Ooh, because again, if we flip this one or flip this one, that's 5 wins in a row, 6 wins in a row, 7 wins in no. Now this one against the Rams is at home, so there's parts of me where okay, the Rams are 5-0. Well, it's week 9, so they could be 8-1, 6-2. You can flip this one, give them a win where Washington, yeah. Okay, the Bengals, Giants. I could see them beating the Falcons here, but again, 1, 2, 3, 4 straight wins, 5 straight wins, 6 straight wins. Like, no. I'm pretty, 10 wins is good. I'll leave it there. I mean, look at these very winnable games outside of the division. Well, I don't know about this one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. We'll see. Dallas. With Dallas, I had to go back and forth because there's parts of me where, oh my gosh, because their schedule goes this way. I at one point did have them losing 7 in a row because we have 2 road games. Oh well, Okay, then I'd switch this Washington one. This Washington one would probably be a win then at that point. But we have two, because parts of me think that the Giants start out hot, and this one is in the Meadowlands, so it's like, oh, look at that. Or we kind of have like a full 180 on 2 years ago when Dallas and the Giants played to open their season, and Dallas beat the Giants 44-0 or something like that. In turn, this is where it flips, where Dallas then loses 44-0 to the Giants or something, because that Giants team versus this Giants team, come on now. What else? I could see him losing to the Ravens. I could see him losing to the Texans. I could see him losing to the Bucks, Packers, and the Eagles. Because these road games, these are losable games. Home game, but I could see the Bucks coming in. So like, I did have him losing so many games, but it's like we gotta just get through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 potential playoff teams to open the season. But then they, Cardinals, Colts. I mean, I don't think they could beat the 49ers. I do think they could split 1-1 with the Eagles. Playing the Super Bowl champs, no thank you. And then following it up by playing the runners up, no thanks. So like there are 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, but 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 losses. You can do 9 losses without even like looking into it. Just because they have I think and Dallas, Jacksonville, and the Chargers have the toughest schedules. Um, so, well, and Arizona, but we'll get there, dude. Arizona, their Arizona schedule's brutal. Arizona could start 0-11. I wouldn't be surprised because I said I don't think any team's going to lose 7, 8 games in a row, but if there is, Jets, Dolphins, or Cardinals. All right. So we'll just see. If Dallas, here's the thing, from these first handful of games, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If Dallas can come out of these 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 games. You just got to get through the first 15 games. If they can come out of this gauntlet, because they play a lot of, like, look, potential playoff team, potential playoff team, potential playoff team, potential playoff team. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, 15. 15 of the 17 matchups that you have are against potential playoff teams. If they can get out of these 15 games with a positive 11 and 4, 12 and 3, if they can come out of that with a record like that, they will be fine. They'll play in the wild card game against the Bears, against the Lions, against somebody. They'll get to the second round, and then there will be that inevitable Packers versus Cowboys in the divisional round where they have their 13 and 4 record, because then from there the first 15 games, like let's say they're sitting at 12 and 3, they lose a couple here. That's inevitably where they flame out and lose in the divisional round. But yeah. The Giants, I think the Giants will be fine. There's a lot of high expectations on this team. I would try to keep it at bay because, look, I feel this way about Cam Ward. I feel this way about Shador. I feel this way about Mendoza. I feel like we are not going to see a rookie QB, a second-year QB. We're not going to see them just magically, unless the team literally carries them. We're not going to see a rookie year, a second year QB just show up and, just sling the pill around and kick everybody's ass and go win a Super Bowl. That's not happening. That is not happening. People seem to forget. Yes, Mahomes is good. Do not get me wrong. The Chiefs teams were pretty decent with Alex Smith. Okay? And so, you know, if a defense carries a team, like, okay, you put a competent, like, let's talk about the Broncos or let's talk about the Texans or any other top five defense in the league right now, you go put a competent quarterback, at the helm. Yeah, take Baker Mayfield and put him from the Bucks to the Texans. Take Herbert from the Chargers, put him on the Texans. Take Joe Burrow, put him from the Bengals, go put him on the Texans. Do you think by chance maybe the Texans are beating the Patriots that divisional round game? Perhaps. But I just don't see, like, just teams are so good, even with how bad they might be, only winning 3 games, 4 games a year. Teams are so good that to just, all right, everybody, roll over, let it happen, let these rookie QBs, let these second year guys just tear up the league. Like, it is so rare. Just it's because I don't even know, because like you look at guys like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Let me look at who were some of the Murray from the 19 class. Any QBs from the 2017 class? Mahomes, but Mahomes has already won a couple. Like, there are so many quarterbacks that have been in the league for almost a decade now, and it's like they're still trying to get a postseason win. They're still trying to get over that hump, like that inevitable division round game. They're still trying to get there. Um, and so, like, to sit here and go, yeah, year two Jackson Dart, they're going to win 15 games, win the East, get to the NFC Championship game, and eventually lose to the Rams. I'd be smoking something to be thinking that, because I think this team's going to sit around 500 all year. They need to remain healthy. And again, like, quarterback wise, because when it comes down to it, yeah, there's a little bit of a QB duel, but how quarterbacks can meticulously pick apart defenses, is Dart at the level where he can pick apart that Eagles defense and beat them? Maybe during the regular season, but when it's go time in the postseason, no. I think the Eagles, the 49ers, the Rams, Packers, Lions, Seahawks. Let's keep it with those 6. Those 6 teams alone could potentially beat the Giants. Now, if they luck out and they play the Saints, they're the 4 seed. Saints are the 7 seed. They could get a legit win there. Round 2, they play the Saints. Round 1, they play the Vikings. Round 2, boom, baby. There we go. Now you're in the championship game. You're playing the Rams, and then they get smoked out. 40 something to 10, or I don't know. But I think they'll win games, but I don't know, man. Like, there are so many, like, with how high we praise some of these QBs and teams. Dude, we've been hitting the hammer with the Ravens. We've been hitting the hammer with the Chargers. We've been hitting the hammer with the Bengals. Like, people, myself included, like, we're still holding on to the nostalgia of the Bengals and their Super Bowl run. That it's like we've looked past, like, hey, by the way, they haven't been that successful in the last 3 seasons, 4 seasons. So it's like, I just can't. I don't know. Like, they haven't been able to get there. It's been the Eagles, the Niners, the Chiefs, and that's it. Those are like the 3 teams that and then this year include Patriots and Seahawks, but like, those are the only teams that have been in the last handful of Super Bowls the last 5-6 years. If you want to extend it, yeah, to 6, you got to throw the Bengals and the Rams in there. But that's it. That is it. So, all right, moving on. So I had them winning how many games again? Wait, hold on. So we're going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and 8. They're when it's go time for them, I'd say it starts week 9 right after the bye week, because if they can stay healthy, look at this slate of games here from week 13 on. 49ers, Seahawks, Lions, Eagles, and Cowboys. Right here, boom. This little chunk of games. Because, okay, you lose to Washington, you lose to the Eagles, you lose to Jacksonville, you lose to the Colts. That's okay. Guess what? You get a rematch with the Eagles. Okay. You don't get a rematch with Washington. You would have had to beat them there. But it's like you go get 2 division wins under your belt and then mathematically try to get wins to improve your rankings through the Browns, the 49ers at home. You find yourself a 6th seed. So, I don't know. I do think they can make the postseason, but yeah, that inevitable, if they're like the 3 seed, Eagles, like let's say the Eagles are the 3 seed and the Giants are the 6 seed, we're in Lincoln Financial Field. What's Saquon Barkley going to do? He's going to rip up that defense. And, like, it's going to be... Because, like, that was, to me, what was so funny about the Eagles Super Bowl run, is people legit thought that Washington was going to hang with them. And, oh, man, dude, look at this young team. Look at these young Bucks go, dude. They're going to compete. They're going to hang with... They're going to hang with the Eagles. They're going to be able to beat them. They're the hot team right now. And how did Saquon's first 2 runs go? To the house, both of them. And they just didn't look back from there. And it was a rout. Like, how much did they beat them by? Like, they beat them, let me go look at the score right now. They beat them like 40 to, look, 40 something. Let me look. Like, it was a rout. So, I just, if the Giants do inevitably play in Washington versus Eagles in the 2025, 55, yeah, 55-23. It's a rout. It's a rout. That, like that, I could see the same kind of, the Eagles advanced to the divisional round against the Rams after defeating the Giants 55-23. Like, I could see that. All right, so give me the Eagles to win the East. I know it's not a safe prediction. I know it doesn't make sense to have the Eagles win 3 in a row when no team has gone back to back to back for over 20 years until the Eagles did last season. But to me, there's parts of me where it's like, I don't care about those stats and I don't care about those numbers. To me, it's just like, who's the best football team in that division? It's the Eagles. So, but again, that's my opinion, not factual. Oh boy, the Bucks. We got a couple more teams. Yeah, we got 8 more teams, guys. Yeah, 8 more teams, and we have been streaming for 2 hours. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the stream. I've tried to keep it engaging enough. But this is a full in-depth reaction to the divisions and games. I gave the Bucks 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gave them 11 wins. Hello. I guess last year doesn't matter. I gave them 11 wins. Look, I think the South is going to be awful. I think the South for both conferences are going to be awful. I think with regards to how I was talking with, okay, the AFC West is going to be the 1 seed, the AFC East is going to be the 2 seed. Remember how I was kind of going through that and going to, like, I think the North and the South are both going to tie each for 10 wins. I think the winner of the NFC South is going to be 9 and 8. I know I gave them 12 wins here, but like when we get into the nitty gritty, it's like you're splitting 1-1 with everybody. You're going to end up 3-3 in the division. You're not going to beat the Chargers. You're not going to beat the Rams. You're going to end right there 9-8, 8-9. Get that 4 seed. Um, I think there's also other things, other reasons, like let's just look at the contract negotiations between Vita Vea and Baker Mayfield alone. Like, let's just look at both of those alone. That kind of distraction stuff, because you can also go with like Vrabel and the Patriots. You can go with like the 49ers, because like, holy shit, look at the dude. They have an injury reserve list already, and we haven't even started preseason games. Like, there's all those kind of like stuffs and whatnot, but like, there's parts of me where it goes negatively, where it's like, told y'all we shouldn't have paid him. You know, you were a shit QB anyways, and then they win 7 games, 6 games. But then there's like the other end of the coin that I'm hoping is the case, where you don't pay Baker. Baker plays with a chip on his shoulder. And then, oh, look at this. It's like the year that they won a playoff game with the Browns. It's like his time in Oklahoma, where, wow, the Bucks won 11 games. And guess what they did in the postseason? They knocked off the Eagles or the Seahawks, but then they, fizzled out against the Lions or the Rams. But like, they were that 4 seed when they played the 1 seed, in that, like, kind of like the 49ers when the 49ers knocked off the Eagles. Not a lot of people thought the Niners were going to beat the Eagles in that game. But it's like, they did just enough where, okay, you have your 1 seed Rams, and it's like they knocked off the Rams. But then they showed up against the Eagles and crapped the bed, and then the Eagles end up going to the Super Bowl to play like, the Broncos or the Chiefs or something. But it's like they did enough to, okay, this Super Bowl is marked safe from a super team Rams. So, yeah, I'll give them that many wins. I know it's a crazy number to think about, but let's move on. With the Saints, oof, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I give them 8 wins. I still don't know how I feel about the Saints. I don't know how many games they could win this year. And there's a lot of hype. A lot of people think, with how their season ended with Shuck, that they're going to win a lot of games this year. Look how their season starts. They got the Lions, they got the Ravens, sprinkled in the season. They got the Steelers, they got the Bears, they got the Bengals, they got the Packers. Like, they will most likely, like, I would not be surprised if the division is up for grabs, where everybody goes 3-3 in the division, where Panthers beat the Saints, Saints beat the Bucks, Bucks beat the Panthers, Panthers beat the Falcons, Falcons beat the Saints. Like, everybody just goes 3-3. But like, 1, 2, 3, 4, lose 5, lose 6, 7. I already counted that team. Damn it, let's go from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 non-division opponents here, where that could make, because if you go 0-6 here and then 3 more losses within the division, that is 9 losses already, and bam, you're gone. You're out of the playoff race. And then, like, when you compare the Saints against teams like within their conference, they're not better than the Rams or the Seahawks or the 49ers. They're better than the Cardinals, so we'll give them that. Okay, so there's one team that they're better than. In the East, they're not better than Washington. They're not better than New York. They're not better than Dallas, and they're not better than the Eagles. Yikes. Okay, all right, let's go to the South. It's split. It's up for grabs, so you can add, like, I do think they are better than the Falcons. But are the Saints better than the Bucks? Maybe on a good day. Maybe on a good day. All right, now let's go to who we missing. Oh, the North. Not better than the Packers. They're not better than the Lions. They're not better than the Bears, but they might be better than the Vikings. So, like, in the NFC, there's 4 teams that they're better than, roughly. If you want to stretch, put the Bucks in there. There's 5. You catch the Seahawks on a bad day, they're 6. But like maybe the Packers, I'll throw my Packers in there 7. But like, yeesh. I already handed you 9 losses. So, yeah. 9 losses. All right, moving on. Let's go with the Falcons. Look at this originality right here. Middle row, all X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Also 9 and 8. I gave him this win because Falcons sometimes like they show up in those random ass Monday night football games when there's nothing on the line. Like they did it against the Eagles, they did it against the Rams, they did it against the Bills, where it's like, why are you winning this game? And so that's why I put that one there. If it doesn't go to the Bucks and it doesn't go to the Saints, it's going to the Falcons. Well, actually, no. At that point, it'd probably go to the Panthers. But like, dude, their quarterbacks aren't even healthy right now. So skip. All right, Panthers. Panthers. I feel the same about the Panthers as I do with the Jags. And the Texans, where there might be some conversations. I mean, dude, after this game, looks like Haynes King is the future. No. Where voice crack. Let me get a swig real quick. Hang tight. Where I think tough conversations in the way of we drafted you. It's been 4 years. You played through your rookie contract, and we have nothing to show for it. Versus like you look at other rookies that were drafted after, like Daniels, where it's like, well, we at least went to an NFC Championship game, but we in the second year you were injured, so like there's still like stuff to look at, and there's still room for growth. Versus the Panthers, where it's like we know Carolina's ceiling. We have already seen Carolina's ceiling. And like if I were to look at it like on a line graph, you know where their magnum opus was and their peak of their franchise altogether? 15-1. Super Bowl 50. They're not. That's it. Like, because just comparing quarterbacks alone, Cam Newton was a dog, and Bryce Young is no Cam Newton. That defense, I mean, shit. One of them today just put his bust up in Canton. Pause. No, but you know what I mean by that. So, this Panther team is not the same, and I'm not bought in. I'm not bought in on Carolina. I'm not bought in on the South. They'll beat up each other. But like you look, you got the Eagles, you got the Packers, you got the Falcons, you got the Broncos, you got the Seahawks, you got the Bengals, you got the Steelers, you got the Lions. I mean, so many non-conference teams. I might put them up with the Chargers and the Cardinals and the Cowboys and the Jags of like non-conference games where of potential playoff teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 games out of 17 games are against potential postseason teams. But give me Baker Mayfield and the Bucks to win the division. Since Tom Brady retired too, as well, like the Bucks did keep winning. Like there wasn't that, decline after. I mean, like for example, the Saints, dude. Speaking of another player that is in Canton, the Saints have not been successful since Drew Brees walked off the field after that playoff loss to the Bucks. They They just haven't. Show me through quarterback play, through postseason success, through wins and losses. Show me the Saints reaching that peak. They haven't. They've been in rebuild. They've been in rebuild. They've been in rebuild. And so to me, with how the Bucks kind of sustained success after winning the Super Bowl with Brady and winning divisions with Brady, with them transitioning over to Mayfield and continuing to compete and winning divisions, there's parts of me where it's like, yeah, I think the Bucks could continue this success. Now, if it's not the Bucks, there is parts of me where Tua puts a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and goes, okay, they didn't want me in Miami. Watch this. But I think, yeah, both of them, both the QBs in Atlanta are dealing with injury. I still do think Tua Tagovailoa is a decent quarterback. Um, like I look at, and I know this is a crazy take. There are parts of me where I do think Tua is still better than Sam Darnold. Which it's like, yikes. That's a yikes. That's a hot take. But like, let's just go look at teams and QBs from the top. Like, is Tua better than Joe Burrow? No. Lamar Jackson? No. Aaron Rodgers, all time? No. And right now, also no. The Browns, whoever they put at QB, yes. Drake May, yes. Yes. Um, Malik Willis or Quinn Ewers, yes. Terod Taylor or whoever they, Geno Smith. I don't think Terod Taylor's with the Jets anymore, but Geno Smith, yes. Trevor Lawrence, yes. Cam Ward, yes. Whoops. Still looking here. We were on Cam Ward. So Cam Ward, yes. CJ Stroud, yes. Danny Dimes, yes. Bo Nix, nah. I kind of look at him the same. He's not better than Mahomes. I think Herbert's a little better. I do think Tua's better than Kirk Cousins and Mendoza. I do think he's better than Caleb Williams. I do think he's better than Jordan Love. Don't think he's better than Jared Goff. I think Goff's better. I do think he's better than Kyler Murray or JJ McCarthy. I think Hurts is better. I do think he's better than Daniels. Oh, I think he's pretty even with Dak. Like Dak, Tua, Herbert are kind of like on the same line. Trevor Lawrence would be like a 1A, 1B, kind of like on that line, but like a little lower. He's better than Dart. 1A, 1B. Lawrence would be under that list, but I'd put Baker on top of that list. Yeah. I do think he's better than Penix. Yes, he's better than Bryce Young. No, he's not better than Stafford. No, he's not better than Purdy. Yes, I do think he's better than Darnold. And yes, I do think he's better than whoever they put at Q for the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett, Carson Beck, Keenan Slovis. Yeah, I think he's better than Gardner Minshew. Yeah, Gardner Minshew's also in that quarterback room. I do think Tua's better than a lot of those QBs too. So, and even Will Levis, there are not 32 teams, 32 quarterbacks better than me. I do think is also in that list. So, it just comes to a point of where, because I think Tua in Miami was decent. Now their last season together, no, but we'll see. We will see. All right, next. The Rams, I gave them some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I sprinkled 5 losses in there. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. They could go 17-0. They could start 2-0. They could start 2-0 before they need to, nut up a little bit for some games. Because they don't need to get up for a game until Denver and Philly. Because they're 3 hard games right here. And then, like I said, they coast. They don't need to get up for Arizona. They don't need to get up for Washington or Vegas. Like their four of their hardest games are at the beginning of the season, and then they go through another 3 game stretch right here, and then they just kind of coast because I just so I gave them some losses and some wins here because I don't think they'd go 17-0. They're gonna lose some games, but I mean, if with Aaron Donald coming back, which I have said this from day one, ever since the trade, I think Aaron Donald's coming back. I think them getting Miles Garrett was enough to convince Donald to come back. Um, if they can both stay healthy, if the offense can stay healthy, the Rams are going to be a problem um, in the regular season. I am going to sound like a lot of everybody else and say, yeah, they'll get the 1 seed. They'll be the Super Bowl champ. Blah, blah, blah. It's theirs to lose. Dude, the Rams have been. Here's the other thing. When I'm listing the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Lions, you know who that fourth silent team has been in the hunt this whole time since the 2020 season? The Rams. And even before that with Goff. Like, the Rams have been very consistent. Okay, now they lost to the Lions one year. They lost to Saquon Barkley and the Eagles the next year, but the Eagles ended up winning the Super Bowl. They lost to the Seahawks last year, who ended up winning the Super Bowl. Who they lose to the postseason wins the Super Bowl. So if they lose to the 49ers, 49ers are winning the Super Bowl. If they lose to the Eagles, Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. I do think it's the Rams to lose, Super Bowl wise, division wise, all things considered, just with how stacked their team is. But I think there's parity in the league. They'll lose a couple games, but again, Seahawks aren't repeating. They can get through the Seahawks. They can get through the 49ers. They got to worry about an Eagles team. They got to worry about a Bucks team. They got to worry about I don't think the Packers would catch heat and just beat them outright. Maybe a Lions team. I don't know. Like they're good. They look so good on paper, so it's hard to pick them. We'll see. We'll see. All right, 49ers. The 40 Winers. And here's the other thing too. Like when we talk benefits, I think it benefits whoever's going to win this team. I think it benefits more because like duh, obviously, but like I think it actually benefits the Niners more because when they play again, this will be for the division. This one's in San Fran. So, I mean, you got to get up for this game and win this one. But then after that, you don't have to get up for a game until week 4 because you should beat Miami. You should beat the Cardinals. You have the Broncos at home. Very winnable game. You've beat Seattle in Seattle, so I know this game can be won. But again, I don't see the 49ers injuries and all. To have them start 7-0, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I don't know. That'd be a huge overreaction because they're probably going to lose this one. So going into bye week 5-2, maybe they lose this one, so 4-3. But they should beat the Raiders. They can beat the Cowboys. They can beat the Vikings. They can beat. They can split 1-1 with the Seahawks, which is why I gave them a loss here. I think they can get up and beat the Giants, but I give them a loss here because again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight wins isn't happening. So that's why I gave them another loss here. Gave them a loss here to split 1-1 with there. Because what has plagued the Niners in the past? Injuries. So what's going to get in their way of them winning the Super Bowl? Injuries. Like that's just how it is. I'm not going to sit here and overreact to their schedule when it's like the Saints, the Falcons, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, Washington, Green Bay. None of these teams are going to be a threat. Their threat is the Rams, the Seahawks in Seattle, if they got to go do that again. And then shit, maybe the Eagles, maybe, but yeah, and injuries, so themselves. All right, Seahawks. How many wins did I give them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I give them 10 wins. I had them dropping from their win total last year. This one, like, I think this is going to be a Kenneth Walker revenge game, so that's why I put a loss there. I gave him a loss against the Cowboys because I can't have them winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, 6 in a row. Not 6 in a row before. I think this is a Black Friday game. No. Yeah, no. This is the game before Christmas. And their schedule is a lot. I mean, potential, 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 potential. Like they have a lot of potential playoff teams. And again, everybody's coming for them this year. There is a bigger target on their back. But they have no run game right now. They decided to move on from Kenneth Walker. And so I look at what happened to the Giants after Saquon Barkley left. Look at what happened to the Panthers after McCaffrey left. Look at what happened to the 49ers ever since McCaffrey joined them. Like the run game is very important. Do I think the Seahawks line is still fine? Yes, but just I okay, you flip that Cowboys game. There's 11 wins. You flip that Broncos game in Mile High. Okay, there's 12 games. Like they're hard games on the road. Philly, Denver, San Fran, and LA. Like those 4 losses, nothing to, drop their head about. It's like they got to beat Washington on the road. That's very winnable. So I could flip this one, but again, I don't think they start 5-0, so that's why I put a loss here. Because if anything, they could start 3-0, but then lose one of these games. Because to have them go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0 before they actually have to get up and go 6-0, 7, no, it's not happening. No. So I gave them 10 wins. Their schedule's a lot harder this year. And yeah, if this Bronco game was at home, they could win it. If this Eagle game was at home, they could win it. Yeah. 1, 2. Their most important games. 49ers, Rams, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 important games. If they can win these games, they're going to the postseason. Maybe get into the division round. All right. Chargers, Seahawks, 49ers, Giants, Lions, Rams, Broncos, Cowboys, Seahawks, Rams, Chiefs, Washington, Eagles. In those first 11 games, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, where an easy win is. I do have them beating the Jets. I do have them beating the Saints and the Raiders, but then losing their season finale against the 49ers. I think they have one of the hardest schedules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 out of their 17 games are against potential playoff opponents. Yikes. That's not fun. So, I think they should also wear these jerseys. I liked these jerseys. I thought they were fine. This was a nice uniform combo matchup. Will they bring them back? Probably not. But so you ask, okay, who's winning the division? Well, if you haven't caught on to kind of my sarcasm but realness, I'm taking the Rams. And this is not an original pick. I bet a lot of other people are picking Los Angeles to win it. It's theirs to lose, truthfully. And I know that's big, major, what's the word I'm looking for? Discredit to the Seahawks, but it's like, dude, they split 1-1 with the Seahawks during the regular season. And they were a handful of plays from losing the NFC Championship game, and they were one play away from sweeping the Seahawks in the regular season. So I think the Rams are just fine. And when you look at offseason pieces, if they get Aaron Donald back while also, having Myles Garrett, like, what are the pieces that the Seahawks made in equation to that? You don't think that Aaron Donald or Myles Garrett would put work on that Seahawks offensive line and just like be breathing down Sam Darnold's neck all game? You don't think that would? Or, okay, so you get a pass off, but then you still got McDuffie in coverage on their number one receiver, JSN. Unless, they want to put, throw a Tampa 2 where you put someone in coverage, you double their best, but then I don't know. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. But I'm gonna pick the Rams, which is not original at all. It's not an original prediction. So not gonna sit there with that. But other than that, guys, that's all I got. Thank y'all for hanging out. This has almost been a holy cow. This has almost been a 3-hour stream, full in depth to my division pick. Sorry, I try to make it a quick one. Like I thought this would be an hour and a half stream, but almost 3 hours. But I thank you guys for hanging out. We're gonna end the stream here. There's kind of no closing remarks. I mean, if there is a closing remarks, I think the Super Bowl goes to. Let's go look at some teams real quick. Okay. We haven't looked at baseball standings. We could look at baseball standings later. If this stream was short, we'd go look at stuff. If this stream was shorter, but this is a 3-hour stream. We're gonna get you guys out of here. But let's go look at teams that oh my butt hurts. Oh, I've been sitting forever. Can't you tell? Okay. Let's wrap it up here by going over a handful of these teams. Okay. Teams that I'll give a lot of teams the benefit of the doubt and go, yeah, okay, I could see them winning the Super Bowl. But from my division winners to then let's move forward with Super Bowl winners. I could see the Bills winning the Super Bowl. I could see. I don't know about the Ravens, man. Steelers would have to go on a hell of a run to win the Super Bowl. I could see the Broncos winning the Super Bowl. I could see the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I could see the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. No one from the North. Lions. I don't think the Lions are ever going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not sure as hell not the Bears. I could see the Bucks winning the Super Bowl. I could see the Rams winning the Super Bowl. I can see the 49ers winning the Super Bowl. I could see the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, but to put the Seahawks on the same list as the Patriots and the Chiefs of teams that go back to back, I don't think they're the same. So I have one team, two teams, three teams, four teams, five teams, six teams, seven teams. I'll stretch it. Seven, eight. Realistically, eight teams winning the Super Bowl. The Bills, the Ravens, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Niners, or the Rams. Those are my eight. And if it's not those eight, I don't know. Like, it's not going to be these guys. It's not going to be the Colts. It's not going to be the Jaguars. Stretch team where it's like, wow, they finally got over the hump. Give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Drought enders would be Cowboys. But yeah. Because, like, I do think the Seahawks could win it, but not back to back. Not back to back. If their defense is good again, like it was last year, maybe. But, like, dude, I was out on the Seahawks all year, so I'm not gonna switch up and be like, oh, give me the Seahawks, hell yeah. I was out, dude. I didn't have them beating the 49ers. I had the 49ers beating them. And then I had 49ers Rams in the NFC Championship game. So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was a big fan and be like, yeah, oh, Seahawks going back to back, yeah. No. And then even of those 8 teams, to dwindle it down more, Broncos, Chiefs, Eagles, Rams. Broncos, Chiefs, Eagles, or Rams. To dwindle it down even more. Because the Bucks, I don't know. I don't know about the Bucks. And again, Seahawks going back to back. I don't know. Rams, 49ers, they'll be injured. So, yeah, Broncos, Chiefs, Rams. Maybe Bills, maybe. I don't know. All right, people. That'll be it for the stream. Thank you all for hanging out. Hanging out as we go over some stuff. I'm going to go make some dinner because I'm a little hungry. But I thank you all for hanging out. But yeah, this was a fun stream. Those were my thoughts and reaction. This was a full, in-depth reaction to division winners. So once again, I have the Rams, the Bucks, the Eagles, the Lions, the Chiefs, oh my gosh, we're professionals here. Here we go. I have the Ravens, the Bills, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Eagles, the Bucks, and the Rams. Those are my 8 teams. Those are my 8 division winners. But yeah, now you guys know. So, anyways, other than that, guys, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for the subscribers lately. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the stream to help, the channel grow and continue to grow. But other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.